Hello students, I am Mrs. Lakshmi Deshpande, lecturer, Department of English, Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belagavi. Hope you all are doing well and enjoying your lessons at home. Today let us take up the fourth unit, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest. Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest is written by Vandana Shiva. Vandana Shiva was born in the year 1952. She is an Indian scholar, environmental activist, and anti globalization author. She is an internationally renowned activist for biodiversity and against corporate globalization. Vandana Shiva is a Yes contributing editor. In this essay, she tells us how she learnt about environmentalism from the uneducated women of Garhwal, Himalaya. While the government officials and men were cutting down trees for logs, the women showed them that the trees and the forests were living things and we need to live with them. Vandana Shiva says her ecological journey started in the forests of the Himalaya. Her father was a forest conservator and her mother became a farmer. Her mother composed songs and poems about trees, forests, and India's forest civilization. Her involvement in the contemporary ecology movement began with Chipko, a non violent response to the large scale deforestation that was taking place in the Himalayan region. Men had started cutting down trees, and this logging had led to landslides, floods, and scarcity of water, fodder, and fuel. Since women provide these basic needs, they started to face difficulty. They had to walk long distances for collecting water and firewood and also had to carry heavier burden. In 1970s, the peasant women from Garhwal, Himalaya came out in defense of the forests. They knew that the real value of forests was not timber from a dead tree, but springs and streams, food for their cattle, and fuel for their hearths. So, women declared that they would hug the trees and the loggers would have to kill them before killing the trees. A folk song of that period said, "These beautiful oaks and rhododendrons, they give us cool water. Don't cut these trees, we have to keep them alive." Vandana Shiva says that before leaving for Canada to do her PhD, she wanted to visit her favorite forests and swim in her favorite stream. But unfortunately, when she went there, she saw that because of the large scale deforestation, forests had gone and the streams had been reduced to a trickle. Then she decided to become a volunteer for the Chipko movement and she spent every vacation doing padyatras, documenting or making people aware of the terrible consequences of deforestation and the work of forest activists. Vandana Shiva here places on record a dramatic action that took place in the Himalayan village of Advani in 1977 when a village woman named Bachni Devi opposed her husband who had obtained a contract of cutting down trees. When officials came, women held up lighted lanterns although it was broad daylight. The women said that they had come to teach them forestry. The officials insulted them and called them foolish and told them that they don't know that forests produce profit and resin and timber. The women sang back in chorus, "What do the forests bear? Soil, water, and pure air. Soil, water, and pure air. Sustain the earth and all she bears." Thus, The women made them understand that it is not the timber and resin, it is the soil with minerals, water, and pure air that is the asset, and we need to sustain it. Friends, the importance of Chipko movement is that it was a non-violent movement and was initiated by peasant women. Let us move to the next concept, beyond monocultures. What is monoculture? Monocultures are single crops planted in a uniform pattern. Now let us see what is going beyond monocultures. From Chipko, Vandana Shiva learnt about biodiversity and biodiversity based living economies. Now, what is biodiversity? Biodiversity comes from two words, bio meaning life, diversity meaning variability. Biodiversity is the variety of all living things, the different plants, animals, and microorganisms, the genetic information they contain, and the ecosystems they form. In her book, Monocultures of Mind, she tells that the failure to understand biodiversity and its many functions is at the root of the impoverishment of nature and culture. Means we are destroying nature and culture because we are not able to understand the importance of biodiversity and its functions. Man has become so materialistic, self centered, and money minded that he has no respect and importance for Mother Nature and our ancient rich culture. Man has become so cruel, insensitive, that he is killing animals, plants, trees, and our rich heritage for his selfish motives. So, Vandana Shiva says that it is this negligence and mindlessness which is responsible for the destruction of nature and culture. Now, it is time that we need to understand that we have to protect all living beings, that is, animals, plants, water, etc., to lead healthy and peaceful life. The lessons she had learnt about diversity in the Himalayan forests, she transferred to the protection of biodiversity on their farms. They started saving seeds from farmers' field, and they realized that they needed a farm for demonstration and training. Here Vandana Shiva suggests of polyculture farming. Polyculture means many different crops grown in an area together. Instead of growing only one type of crop, she suggests to grow different crops. Polyculture can be done either through rotation of crops, that is, growing a different crop on the same land after the harvest of one crop, or planting rows of different crops side by side. Polyculture uses nutrients, space, and energy in a balanced manner. You can see in the picture a variety of crops produced. So, to demonstrate this or to do this practically, they needed a farm, and thus Navdanya farm was started in 1994 in the Doon Valley, located in the lower elevation Himalayan region of Uttarakhand province. At Navdanya, today, they conserve and grow 630 varieties of rice, 150 varieties of wheat, and hundreds of other species. They practice and promote a biodiversity intensive form of farming that produces more food and nutrition per acre. Mark that, students, biodiversity intensive form of farming produces more food and nutrition per acre. going to understand what is biodiversity intensive farming is. Biodiversity is living in harmony with our co-creatures and not harming the natural process of life web and nature. Biodiversity gives resilience, that is, resistance. It also helps to regulate disease and is necessary for physical, mental, and spiritual health and social well being. Intensive farming is growing more or growing in abundance. So, biodiversity intensive farming means growing food in abundance without disturbing or harming the natural process of life web. It is very necessary these days as we are facing lack of food and lack of nutrition due to harmful pesticides and fertilizers. Thus, the conservation of biodiversity is therefore also the answer to the food and nutrition crisis. We will discuss the further things in the next video. Thank you.